For the first time in a long time, the New York Giants are going to have to make some tough decisions on roster cutdown day. That happens next Wednesday, and we'll be breaking it down on this show as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. A good problem to have. The New York Giants might actually be cutting some good football players to keep other good football players on the roster. So I wanted to go through 5 roster bubble candidates and kind of just talk about some positions and what players may be on the outside looking in when it comes to the 53-man roster. Let's start with Dante Turbo Miller. He is right on the roster bubble. And I think the decision will just come down to this. Do the Giants want to keep 3 running backs, or do the Giants want to keep 4 running backs on the 53-man roster? Once Joe Schoen figures out that question, he'll have his answer of should Dante Turbo Miller make the roster. I think at this point he has earned a roster spot. He provides something in a skill set that the New York Giants just don't have at the running back position. His ability to go 0 to 60 is faster than anybody at the running back spot on this team. And I think his ability to eat up yards after catch and be a weapon in the receiving game is not replicated by anyone on this roster. We've seen that in the preseason. Screen after screen after screen. Lining out wide at wide receiver. And Jaxson Dart getting him the football. 11 catches for 123 yards in 2 games. The rushing numbers aren't all that impressive. There just hasn't been all that much room for him to run. What I do like, as Miller is known as a scat back, he's not afraid to duck his head and go get those tough yards. Like we saw on the play where Jaxson Dart checked it down over the ball, where there were 2 defenders kind of swarming him and ready to gang tackle him. He puts 2 hands on the football, lowers his head, moves the chains, first down Giants. He has been a first down just football player. 11 first downs picked up for him when the ball was in his hands. That is the most in the National Football League through 2 preseason games. That's what you want to see. You want people at the running back position that are going to move the chains. And to be honest with you, I go back to that 3rd down on one of the early drives of the game where Russell Wilson throws that screen pass to Devin Singletary, and he has room to run, doesn't make a man miss, and then he stops short of the line to gain. I think if you throw that ball to Miller, he's able to make that guy miss, or he's able to beat him to the edge and pick up that first down. Tracy's making the team. Singletary is making the team, and we know Scadaboo is. Whether they keep 3 or 4 running backs at this spot, that's the topic of conversation, and I think they should keep 4, and I think Miller should be a part of it. And if he's going to do that, he has to be able to make plays on special teams. He did that against the New York Jets. He downed a punt inside the 5 as a gunner, and he had a tackle on another play as well. The way you're able to make this team on the back end of a depth chart is by contributing in multiple ways, and he showed you he could do that on punt coverage. If you want to see Dante Turbo Miller on the Giants' 53-man roster, hit that thumbs up icon right now. The rumors about Jalin Hyatt making this team are officially on fire. Multiple Giants beat reporters have hinted that it's not really a guarantee that he's going to make this team, or maybe that a trade could be coming. Look, whether Hyatt is on the roster bubble or not, I don't particularly think he is. Maybe he isn't, I'm wrong. There are spots at the wide receiver spot that are up for grabs. I think Hyatt's safe. I think he's going to make this team. But when you talk about wide receiver 5 and wide receiver 6, those spots are wide open. Amir Smith-Marset did not play a snap in preseason week 2 against the New York Jets. And the special teams coordinator was asked about that, and he said, we wanted to see other people get those looks. So there's that. Like, Montrell Washington has been solid in a couple of preseason games. Bo Collins was running with the first team offense. Juice Wells had a couple of nice catch and runs. Gunnar Olszewski is looking better than he ever has at the wide receiver position. So some of those spots are open. And with the chatter about Hyatt potentially not being on this roster because he's cut or he's traded, that opens potentially another wide receiver spot. Paul Schwartz, who's covered the Giants for a long time, saying Jalin Hyatt has not exactly lit anything up in training camp. And the 3rd-year receiver is facing challenges from other players looking to slide onto the roster. And he's not the only Giants beat reporter that has at least flirted with the topic of Hyatt not making this team. Look, I do think he makes the team. I would really be shocked if he doesn't. I thought he showed off what he can be in preseason week 2. That 22-yard stop right at on the outside from Russell Wilson, the separation he created, he can still, in my opinion, make plays in this league. I don't think he went to the right spot exactly on the fade route from the left slide. Thought he should have been attacking the sideline a little bit more. Not really a big deal, but the speed is still there, and I'd like to see the Giants make the most of it. He's got to make the most of his opportunities, though, and he got to stay healthy. Smart, tough, dependable. If the Giants don't count you as any of those 3 buzzwords, you're going to be in the doghouse, and he's been there for over 365 days at this point. The tight end position is also wide open, and we've seen Thomas Fidone look good in the preseason. We've seen Greg Dulcich look good in the preseason, and I thought Daniel Bellinger had a strong training camp as well. But is he a lock to make this team? Theo Johnson is. I think Chris Manhertz is. He's really the only inline blocking tight end that they have. Dulcich got that touchdown pass from Jaxson Dart. He had a couple of nice receptions early on in training camp as well from Jameis Winston. We saw Thomas Fidone flex his receiving skills in week 1 against the Bills. If he would have stayed outside on that screen pass against the Jets, he might still be running. But for Bellinger, I don't know. Are they going to keep 4 tight ends? I think they're a 3 tight end team, especially if you want to keep Dante Turbo Miller. You got to go and find other positions where you can cut back on. Fidone, Bellinger, and Dulcich. I think one of those guys makes the team, maybe 2. We'll see who stands out in week 3 of the preseason. I'll tell you this much. If Dulcich scores another touchdown and looks good, or Fidone has another one-hand catch for a 2-point conversion, they're going to make the decision extremely tough for Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. We'll talk some more roster bubble candidates coming up in a second, but first, I got to tell you about a brand new sponsor. Oh, actually a returning sponsor on the show, and that is Chubbies. Go to chubbyshorts.com/chatsports and get $10 off your purchase today. With football season around the corner, that means summer is winding down, but there's still time to let the dogs out. And by dogs, we mean your legs. Before your pups get stuck in jeans and sweats this fall, set them free with the Line Swim Collection from Chubbies. Whether you're poolside, lakeside, or oceanside on that long-awaited vacation, these trunks are ready to travel. Life's too short for uncomfortable swim trunks, so these babies are set up for all-day comfort with a quick, dry stretch fabric and a built-in liner that actually does its job. I've always been someone that has struggled to find bathing suits that fit perfectly. I no longer have that problem, as Chubbies is my go-to. They also have some Chubbies swim trunks in New York Giants gear as well. And for a limited time, our listeners are going to get $10 off at chubbyshorts.com with that promo code CHAT. So whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, Chubbies has you covered. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners here at Giants Now $10 off their order with our code CHATSPORTS. Or go to chubbyshorts.com/chatsports. Code CHATSPORTS or /chatsports. Support our show and let them know we sent you. Give summer one last hurrah. Keep the good vibes going with Chubbies. All right, let's go to the offensive line here. A player that has stood out to me in 2 preseason games is Joshua Ezeudu, the former 3rd-round pick in Joe Schoen's first draft as the Giants' general manager. When you put on the tape, he looked better than Evan Neal did against the New York Jets. He just did. He looked quicker. He looked more explosive. He looked more physical. And I don't know if he's 100% healthy, back from injury. Ezeudu, I was really impressed with. Mainly and exclusively playing left guard in the preseason at this point. He was awesome against the Bills. The whole Giants offensive line was. PFF grade of 79.8, a run block grade of almost 70, and a pass block grade of 88.5. And in 82 pass blocking snaps in the preseason, Joshua Ezeudu has given up just 1 pressure. He deserves some credit for that. The Giants' offensive line depth chart still has him listed as a left tackle, but he has exclusively been playing that left guard spot. And it's just a numbers game at that point. You know Runyon and you know Van Roten are going to make this team. I think Aaron Stinney has earned a roster spot. Giants are not going to most likely cut Evan Neal, which tells me Josh Ezeudu might be on the chopping block. Maybe they keep him because he can't play tackle. Maybe it's Stone Forsythe who gets waived. But there's going to be a tough decision to make, and Ezeudu has made it a tough decision because he has played well in the preseason. He deserves credit for that. Also have been impressed with Aaron Stinney as well. From the offensive line, let's talk defensive line for our last roster bubble candidate, and that is Rakeem Nunez-Roches for me. Somewhat similar to Daniel Bellinger. If you cut Bellinger, you add $3+ million in cap space. And Rakeem Nunez-Roches, it's a numbers game as well when it comes to the dollars and the people at the position. Lawrence is making the team. Shocker, I know. Roy Robertson-Harris, he's making the team as well. Darius Alexander, he's going to make the team. Are the Giants keeping 4 or 5 interior defensive linemen? You're looking at Nacho, Jeremiah Ledbetter, Elijah Chapman, and DJ Davidson, who has looked good in preseason as well. So there's going to be a tough decision to make, and it might just be a financial decision. Business is business. It's strictly financial. And if you cut Nacho, you save $3.6 million. You cut Nacho and you cut Daniel Bellinger, you're adding nearly $7+ million, or you are adding almost $8 million in cap space. And for a team that's right up against the salary cap, who's probably going to want to sign some players that are waived by other teams, you're going to want some extra money to spend. So maybe it's Nacho, maybe it's not, but there will be a tough decision to make, whether it's Elijah Chapman, whether it's DJ Davidson, whether it's him, whether it's Jeremiah Ledbetter, who you just signed, who I'm a fan of and a good run defender. There's going to be a tough decision to make in the still Dre ran defensive tackle room. Like, these are good problems to have, ladies and gentlemen. This will be my 4th roster cut down day, or 5th. 2021 was my first, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't do math well. This will be my 5th time covering this team on this channel, where the Giants cut down from 90 to 53, and I think this one might be the toughest. And 2 weeks ago, I thought it might have been the easiest, but there's been some players in training camp who have made some good noise, and that's what you want to hear. Competition, competition, competition. It brings the best out of everybody. If you guys want a 53-man roster projection video before we get to cut down day next Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, hit that thumbs up icon. We get to 1,000 likes on today's video, I'll get that going for you guys. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_.